This is going to be Operation Crossfire Typhoon. It's a political operation to do whatever they can to preserve Obama's legacy right now. And it's going to be to acknowledge this happened and to deflect blame to everyone else. Let's go to a great article in American Greatness in the show. Please read this in the show notes. Please. Again, Bongino.com/newsletter. The newsletter is the show notes. Subscribe. I'll email you every day. You ain't even got to go looking for it. We won't spam your inbox. The great Deborah Hine in American Greatness. Rice's last-minute by-the-book email written upon advice of Obama's White House counsel. Okay, let me sum this up for you before I get to the core of the article and a screenshot from it. The infamous January 5th, 2016 meeting at the White House with Obama, Clapper, Comey, Susan Rice, Sally Yates. Susan Rice memorialized. There's still some question if Rice was in there the whole time. This is the meeting on January 5th where I'm telling you the plot to continue to go after Mike Flynn is hatched. Remember, they interview Flynn at the White House just 19 days later, after Trump takes office and is inaugurated. Even though the day before, January 4th, the day before the Obama Oval Office meeting, the FBI's concluded they have nothing on Flynn. So timeline, January 4th, the FBI, we got nothing on Mike Flynn, close the case. Later on January 4th, the seventh floor, in other words, Jim Comey, according to their own text, says, no, keep the case open. Why? You have nothing. Well, because you're going to frame him. That's why. January 5th, they meet at the White House. The plot is hatched. We're going to go after Flynn, and maybe we should hide information from Flynn. Comey and Obama have this exchange in the Oval Office. Susan Rice, apparently sensing something at that meeting's not right, sends an email to herself just 15 days later on January 20th, 4 days before the FBI interviews Flynn at the White House on January 24th. She sends an email to herself saying, hey, the infamous by the book email. Obama said to do everything by the book, which, as you know, the only people that send emails to themselves to do things by the book are criminals, morons, media hacks, and liberals. That's it. Nobody else who actually does things by the book needs to memorialize it in email because it was done by the book. This is a CYA email. It's obvious to everyone, even dopey liberals. How does this relate to the fixer? You're never going to believe this. Well, you may if you listen to the show. To the piece, the Deborah Hine piece in American Greatness. So Susan Rice's attorney and former White House counsel Catherine Rumler, this is great, wrote the letter to Senator Grassley, Feinstein, Graham, White House, etc. According to Rumler, Rice wrote the letter, the email to herself. This is Rumler's words. The fixer's back defending Susan Rice. According to Rumler, Rice wrote the letter, quote, upon the advice of the White House counsel's office and didn't get to it until Inauguration Day 2017 because, quote, that was the first opportunity she had to do so. The fixer is back. Catherine Rumler, the Obama fixer, is now Susan Rice's lawyer and is saying she sent the CYA by the book email to herself because White House counsel told her to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, can I just translate myself? Again, we don't need, Joe has a lot of various translators. The Bongino translator is its own translator. Let me translate for you what this means. Obama's terrified. No, he's not, Dan. You're just getting us all spun up. No, I'm not. Let me be clear. I will say this. I do not know who's going to jail, who's not, who's going to be in handcuffs. I'm not a law enforcement officer anymore. I don't know. I don't trust the government. Frankly, I don't trust anyone anymore. The Justice Department. All I can tell you is Obama does care about one thing, whether you believe it or not. If you won't be satisfied until you see Obama in a prison cell, I don't know what to tell you. That's not my job, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm simply telling you, I know for a fact, having worked around this man and his staff, that he thinks he's a transformational figure in U.S. politics, a Lincoln type. And his legacy matters to him more than anything. And his legacy is done. And Rumler is coming in to defend Susan Rice right now to protect not Susan Rice, but to protect Obama. From what? That email that Susan Rice sends to herself on January 20th, that Rumler, the fixer, writes the letter to the Senate about, hey, here's why she wrote that email. That letter isn't to cover for Susan Rice, ladies and gentlemen. That letter's to cover for Obama. Or should I say the email? Precision matters. The Susan Rice email to herself is not the cover for Susan Rice. It's the cover for Obama. Well, why, Dan? She sent it to herself. Well, she knew that was going to be discovered, of course. It was on an official government system. And what does she write in that email, ladies and gentlemen? She insinuates that it was Jim Comey's idea not to share information with the incoming administration. What are they preparing to do? They're preparing to throw Comey under the bus, who, by the way, deserves all of it. Comey's a malicious actor in this as well. But remember I told you the Washington Post, they're going to switch the narrative from the masking to the now targeting thing, and they're going to say, well, it was just to understand Russian intelligence. Get ready. The narrative is about to shift to acknowledging that all of this happened. No way, Dan, they're not going to admit it. They're admitting it now. They don't have a choice. Rick Grenell and John Ratcliffe are going to declassify everything. There is nowhere to run anymore. You are going to see everything. The horrors of the Obama administration up close and personal. Get ready. The new narrative is going to be, okay, all of this stuff happened, the spying and the framing of Mike Flynn. I'm telling you. But, Joe, the new story is going to be Comey did it. And Rumler's here to clean up the mess. The new story is going to be Obama's White House counsel, because remember, it wasn't Rumler. Rumler had left. The Obama White House counsel at the time told Susan Rice to write the email. Remember, Rumler had left that job. She was replaced by someone. She also replaced someone else, which is interesting. The White House counsel, because listen, we just wanted to protect the fact that Obama didn't want this. This was Comey's thing. Mark it. Mark the date. I've never steered you wrong. Mark the date. You may doubt me and say, no, they're never going to acknowledge they did this. They have to. Their own emails are out there. They're not going to be able to run. They are now Operation, this is what they call a crossfire hurricane. This is going to be Operation Crossfire Typhoon. It's a political operation to do whatever they can to preserve Obama's legacy right now. And it's going to be to acknowledge this happened and to deflect blame to everyone else.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.